Some very important housekeeping. Yep, time for the science stuff. Disney takes piracy very seriously. So tonight, security will be monitoring the use of any recording devices during the screening. So please make sure your phones are off and placed into the nifty green bags you should have been given, and do seal them before the episode starts. Okay, lovely. There's also a global review embargo in place, lifting on Wednesday the 30th November at 8:01 a.m. Yeah, you heard that correctly. Very precise. That date again is Wednesday the 30th at 8:01 a.m. After the screening, please feel free to tag at Disney Plus UK. It should be maybe someone behind me. Yep, there we go. Right about there. All of that stuff. And use the hashtag Willow. Please, though, don't reveal any secrets or spoilers. We want everyone to enjoy this for the first time like you did here, so do spread the love, but not too much. Okay, now it's very nearly time to get started. But before we do, I have the genuine pleasure of introducing some very important guests. Please welcome to the stage showrunner, exec producer, and writer, Jonathan Kasdan. John, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. This is so great. How? Well, I met Warwick in the Canary Islands on location. I sheepishly walked up to him and introduced myself as one of the writers on the project we were doing, and he glanced up from his newspaper, and he sort of was polite and friendly, but clearly more absorbed in world events than me. And then I added that I was a huge Willow fan, and I was going to convince Lucasfilm to make a sequel. And he put down his newspaper and invited me to have a seat. And we talked for quite a while. And about 10 minutes later, I stood up and walked directly away from him because I didn't want him to see the oh shit look on my face. I just told this hero of mine that I was going to get a sequel to his most famous role made. And I had neither the influence or the authority to make that promise. But 2 years later, I found myself tasked with the unbelievable job of finding 6 new adventurers to accompany Willow Offgood on his next quest. Some of them were easy to find. Tony Revolori, I was a huge fan of for years, and he was someone I would kill to have play a part in the show. Dempsey Breck, for example, I'd never heard of in my life. I still barely know who he is. Amar Chadha Patel told me in no uncertain terms that he was going to play Borman in our show, and he was going to make the character more surprising and original than I could ever dream of. To which I answered, okay, but I think these bathroom stalls are just one person at a time. Aaron Kellyman, weirdly enough, was on that beach with us in the Canary Islands when Warwick and I had that amazing conversation. But she had no idea that I was going to be writing a part specifically for her, and that it was going to require her to move to Wales for a very long time. Ellie took a little longer. It was about 10 seconds of watching Ellie's audition before I realized that she was the only person that was ever going to play the role of Dove, and anyone could fight me if they felt differently. Fortunately, no one ever did. And the last piece of the puzzle to come together was Ruby Cruz, who, though late in the game and the final casting, the moment we met, I was on a Zoom in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, sort of positioning my phone so I could see her, and she has this infectious, authentic laugh that is still my favorite in the world. And she too, I think, realized right at that moment that she was coming to Wales. So I've had a long career. I've been a writer, producer, and a director at times, and I've made good choices and spectacular blunders. But tonight, I just couldn't be prouder of anything in my entire career than this incredible cast that I've put together for Willow. They have been my creative partners, my inspiration, and my dearest friends. through what, as Amr promised, has been the most exciting and original adventure of my life. So it is with great pleasure that I get to introduce you all to Warwick Davis, Ellie Bamber, Ruby Cruz, Aaron Kellyman, Tony Revelori, Amr Chada Patel, Debson Brick, and Annabelle Davis. Nobody block me, please, in the middle there. Actually, I'm pretty big, aren't I? So that won't happen.
So I'm going to be direct here. It's taken a long time, hasn't it? How does it feel to finally bring Willow back?
It's weird, you know, we've been holding this close to us for so many years now, not talking about it, and here we are today about to kind of unleash it to the world. It's quite exciting and scary at the same time. It is. We all hope we did a good job.
They did, don't worry, don't worry.
I think we did, it wasn't bad.
Don't worry. So, remind me, and just to be clear, it was Solo a Star Wars story, right?
It was indeed.
Yeah, brilliant. I'm so glad that connection happened. But Warwick, I wondered if you could tell us about how fans have been asking about this for such a long time. How has it felt having all this love?
Oh, constantly. I mean, everywhere I go, people are shouting, "Don't call me a pet," across the street. Hopefully now that will stop. But yeah, I mean, there's so much love in the world for Willow. You know, years ago I went to George Lucas and Ron Howard and said, "Guys, do you realise how many people want to see a sequel to Willow?" And they said, "Well, yeah, we had heard kind of a few people mention it, but," I said, "Well, what are you going to do about it?" And they said, I don't know. You know, George is very reserved about these things. He thinks in dollars instead of like creatively most of the time. So, I don't think it's the right time right now. And as John has mentioned, on Solo, everything came together. The stars aligned, and here we are. It all happened. It's absolutely perfect. Yeah.
Tell me before we go, which quote of Willow do you find yourself saying the most?
Well, the one that's most relevant to life, and I think perfectly captures the spirit of Willow, is forget the bird, follow the river. That's the spirit of the movie, and it's the spirit of what we did. We followed the river.
As you'll see, beautifully in Wales for quite some time. Well done again, guys. Please put your hands together as we press play on the first two episodes of Willow. Come on, you could do better than that. Takes his seat.